Hey guys, welcome to the garage. Thanks for joining me. So this is my 2025 Tesla Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive. I just picked this up. I've only had it about 3 or 4 weeks, and it's awesome. I love this car. And I want to talk about a question that was asked by one of my subscribers. This guy named Mike asked this question about how does the air conditioning do to keep up in the summertime? Is it good enough to keep the car cool? How does it handle in really hot weather? And so I want to talk about that, and then I also want to talk about the efficiency of this car as well. All right, so getting in the car here, I want to show you a few things on the air conditioning system, how it works, does it keep up, is it sufficient? So to run the AC system here, if we go into the temperature, you touch on that and it pulls up this screen right here. I keep mine usually like on automatic, and you can lower the temperature. If you go all the way low, that's going to be maximum cold, and then it'll do auto recirculation, so that way it's going to help circulate the air throughout the cabin. The fan blows really hard. Like it's hard to get that on camera. One thing that these newer cars have, like, I don't know if you can even hear me because it sounds like it's so loud. If I turn auto off here, you can adjust. For example, here, if you just turn it on manual, if you just do towards the face only and fan speed 10. Let me show you how. Like, guys, it'll literally freeze you out even if it's 110 degrees outside. So there is no issues on the air conditioning system in this car. Let me turn this down so you can hear me a little better. All right, so auto recirculation, you want to have that on. That way when it's hot out, it'll just automatically recirculate the air, so that way you're not pulling in hot air constantly. You're cooling down the interior air. So it does a good job. It has the ventilation 2.0 system where I can turn, if it's just one person in the car, I can hold down this side. So I can turn off the passenger side air. It senses that there's no one in the rear, so the rear air is not going. So really, if there's one person in the car, it's going to be blowing exclusively right here. These air louvers, so to adjust, you can see here, there's no like louvers where you can manually adjust the airflow, but you do it right here on the screen. You come in here, you can adjust it higher, lower, so if you're, depending on if you want like right in your face, if you want it like kind of off to the side, you can do this. The air will kind of split right between you, so it'll give like a nice airflow around you. So I always keep mine on this setting here, just face only. I don't do up or down because I just want it strictly on the upper vents right at my face in the summertime. And it will literally freeze you out if you do that. Even if it's 110 degrees outside Fahrenheit, it will freeze you out. So the air conditioner works really good. It's really efficient in these newer cars. All right, along with the AC system, it also has, see this, these 3 blue lines here? This is the ventilated or cooled seats. And all new Model 3s 2024 and newer all come with that. This is the rear-wheel drive long-range trim, and it all has that. You can put it on auto so that it will automatically turn on when it's hot out, and then it will slowly taper off, or you can go to cool where it's going to stay whatever level you want it at. I usually keep it on 3. There is a slight hum with the fan that's ventilating those seats, and the passenger side over here has the same thing. You can turn that on as well, so you have that. So really just that alone is going to keep it very cold in here. It's sufficient. It's better. It's as good as any other vehicle's AC system I've ever used. It doesn't use a ton of power. The car does have to cool its battery pack down if it's really hot out and it's cooling the inside, so it does use a little more power in the summertime, but it's pretty efficient. These newer cars are more efficient than the older ones. If you're looking at like a 2018, 2019 Model 3, for example, those are not as efficient as these newer ones. Okay, they have more efficient heat pumps, more efficient AC units, better efficiency. They're using the power more efficiently. So now you can see here I have the white seats. Okay, and there's a perforation in these which allows for the cooling to really take effect. So if you live in a really hot climate, let's say you're in the Southwest, Phoenix, Las Vegas, other places get hot as well. If you really want to have like it as cool as possible, get the white seats. Not the white seats by themselves make it cooler, and then having them ventilated, cooled, makes it even better. So that's one way. You can also get these sunshades for the rear glass here. This I have on right now, And this is going to help keep a little bit of the heat out because the whole glass, I just took the back one off, but the back one, there's 2 sections if you get these. These are pretty cheap, but you can get these. This is going to help keep the air down, help keep the temperatures down inside the car when you're parked, also when you're driving. I would get ceramic tint on your windows. That's going to help really keep the temperatures down lower. You're going to help keep that radiant heat down. As you can see how there's no darkening of the glass at all from the factory. Maybe a little bit. There is some on the roof, but not this back glass. So get your windows tinted with ceramic tint, and that's going to help keep it a lot cooler. So doing those things, and with the efficiency and how well the AC system works, you're going to be fine. Like, this is going to be probably better than most cars that you've driven anyways, as far as how well it's going to cool. Now this is the long-range rear-wheel drive. This has 363 miles of range. It's the longest range Model 3 available. And this one has the 18-inch wheels, which gives it the most efficiency. So I would say I'd recommend going with that. This thing does awesome. Like, let me show you some stats here. I only have 749 miles on the odometer, and my average watt hour per mile is 235 watt hours per mile. I just did a drive this is around town, didn't go on the freeway, so just kind of around town speeds, like 25 to 45 miles an hour, and getting close to 200 watt hours per mile. That's very efficient. So guys, I think that this car is Tesla's like biggest bang for your buck when it comes to efficiency, the features you get, how well it rides. It does fantastic in like summer, winter. It has a really efficient heat pump, which is unique. That didn't come out till like 2021 or 2022 when the heat pump came out. So it's very efficient with heating. As far as the range goes, 363 miles is the rated range for this. This car has a usable battery size is about 75 kilowatts of power. I think it's closer to 78 kilowatts, the total power. Now, can you drive this car 363 miles? I know it says it can, that's how far it can go. I would say no, in my experience. Probably not going to be able to drive 363 miles and before you have to charge. Just like the gas car. If the gas car said it could go 400 miles, you're probably not going to drive 400 miles. You're not going to drive it to empty. You're going to fill up before when it gets down to a fourth of a tank. But Tesla has gotten better. The last couple years, 2024 and newer cars, they started getting better at estimating the actual usable range. And so when they say 363 miles, I would say, like, realistically, this could probably go 300 miles, right? You're using electricity to power the electronics, the steering rack, the air conditioner, all the other things that are going on in the car. You're using the battery to power those things. So you are using some electricity outside of just the motor powering this. This being the rear-wheel drive version, it's the most efficient. And prior to just a few years ago, generally Tesla's all-wheel drive cars were more efficient and had longer ranges than the rear-wheel drive ones. But I think what they've come up with some better. They've engineered the motors a little better to be more efficient, and now the rear-wheel drive versions of these cars are getting more range. I think it has to do with the weight as well. You don't have the weight of the front motor, so it's a little bit lighter car. But this car, like, this is Tesla's cheapest car. This is their most efficient car. It's their most economical car. And if you're looking at like just trying to get into like a basic Tesla right now, this is the car to get. I mean, it's super efficient. AC works great. Heater works great. I mean, it's great for all temperatures, environments. You're going to lose a little range in the summertime when it's really hot because you're going to be running the AC a lot. And you'll also lose a little bit more range in the wintertime if it's really cold because you're heating the battery pack, you're heating the cabin. It does have something in the summertime that can kind of drain the battery when you're parked. There's two things. One is going to be the Sentry mode. Sentry mode is where the cameras are kind of like on standby, and as soon as something walks by, they turn on and it records everything that happened. So that can drain the battery a little bit, as well as there's a feature called cabin overheat protection, which if you can set it at like 90, 95, or 100 degrees. If you set it like at 100 degrees, it will turn on the AC and kind of keep the cabin at 100 degrees so it doesn't get like 150 or something crazy in here. You can do it with no AC, and that saves some energy. So it'll just bring in like the air from outside to kind of help cool down this. You can also vent the windows. So if you push like on the app, you can hit vent, and it will roll the two of the windows down. So that way it'll like kind of, the hotter air will kind of escape the car. So those things can affect, like in hotter climates, can affect some of the range because you're using some of the battery to keep the cabin cooler. If I'm trying to get maximum range, then what I would do is I would turn cabin overheat protection off. I would turn Sentry mode off. That's going to help preserve the battery. And you could just crack if you're in a safe area, you're not worried about anyone damaging your car, breaking into it. You could just crack the windows, and hot air will vent out. Use like a sunshade on your windshield to keep the cabin cool. You can also, 10-15 minutes before you get in the car, you can go onto the app. You can turn on the AC. So you just go onto the app, go under controls, hit the AC, or you go into climate, hit the AC on, and it'll flip the AC on. It'll be whatever you had it set last, so it can just turn on and start pre-cooling before you even get in there. So that's kind of a cool feature. Maximize the range on it. You want to obviously not accelerate as quickly. You can go under controls. You can do chill acceleration, so that way that you're not accelerating as quickly. So if you're not accelerating as quickly, and don't speed. If like in my area though, the freeways are like, all the freeways are 70 miles an hour. Once you get out of the urban areas in more rural parts of the state, it's like 80 miles an hour. So if you stay at the speed limit, you're going to maximize your range on these cars. All of that being said, leave in the comments down below, like there's areas of the country that people are driving these cars and they're doing fantastic. Phoenix, really hot areas. If you're living in those areas, leave your comments down below for Mike to kind of comment on how they do in hot weather. This is like, today it's 93 degrees Fahrenheit. It's got up to 100 degrees several times this summer so far, so it gets really hot here. The AC does fantastic. Even if you had the black seats and non-cooled seats, it still does fine. The AC system is sufficient. The white seats, the cooled seats, that is just kind of another level of cooling that makes it a little more comfortable, a little more nice. Your back's not sweating when you get out of the car. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this. Hopefully this is helpful information if you're considering a Tesla. Thanks for watching the video. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.